I hope everybody here is enjoying their time at the Pixels for Peace Marathon. I started my timer by accident. Alright, so today we're going to be doing Undertale. My name's Shayy, and this is the True Pacifist category. So if you don't know what that means, I'm going to be doing everything, being the best person I possibly can be, and doing some dates, going through a pretty cool area, and then fighting the goat. So if you've never seen an Undertale speedrun before, you're in for quite the fun surprise. So of course I'll be naming myself. Alright, and I think we are ready to go, so here we go in 3, 2, 1, go. So the beginning of this game, basically the only movement is just moving around and mashing text, which you can see me doing here. Just mashing away. Some text in this game isn't skippable, some is. Anytime that I mash away text that goes really fast, that means it's skippable. If I'm not mashing it, it's probably unskippable. So we meet our good friend Toriel here, who's just gonna take us in. And basically the beginning of this game is just kind of a walking and talking simulator. There aren't really too many glitches until we get to the punch card, where suddenly the game will break in half and magical, beautiful things will start happening. So we're gonna fight this dummy real quick. We're actually just gonna talk to him real quick. And now we're gonna walk through. We're gonna run into this frogget here. Froggets are scary, so we're just gonna run away. Actually, we're pretty much scared of every monster in this entire game. We're just gonna run away from all of them, because they're scary. Nobody likes to fight monsters. I mean, it's slower to, you know, spare them. It's just the fastest thing is just to run away. As for the monsters that you can't run away from, we'll have some we'll have ways. Let's just say that. So this boring wrong room, usually speedrunners kind of like to just mess around. I'm gonna do a little trick here. It's good old moonwalk. You know, shout outs to Michael Jackson for coming up with this one. Yeah, there's no way to speed this up, so we just kind of mess around. And, yeah, so now here comes the part. This is basically the actual beginning of the run. You can get an encounter in that room if you're unlucky. I didn't get it, so I guess this run's blessed. This room, too, if you're unlucky, but I didn't get it. So here's a small little exploit. I'm going to talk to this sign after getting those 2 phone calls, and because of weird programming, the third sign won't actually appear, or the third phone call won't appear, I mean. That's something that happens. Funnily enough, it actually happened to the Nintendo Life people playing the new Switch version, so that's not fixed. Good job, Toby. So, we're just going to move this bottom rock here, which is the only rock you actually need to move. The 2 top rocks are completely cosmetic. And now we're going to fight an Absolute. So an Absolute, pretty basic fight. You're just going to cheer him 4 times. He's not really feeling up to it right now, you know. Basics. What you don't want to do is accidentally threaten him, especially on the 4th turn. Bad things happen. Very bad things. So hopefully I don't do that. Went slowly, just to make sure. If you threaten on the 4th turn, he actually takes 13 extra turns. That's never fun. So in pretty much all of these rooms I'm walking through right now, I could get an encounter in every single one of them, which would slow me down by about 2 seconds per encounter. Ah, crap. Ah. So we got Luke's here. He's kind of annoying, so we're just gonna run away from him. If you accidentally talk to the wrong switches, you'll fall into like a basement room and have to do the whole puzzle over again. Thankfully, that'll never happen. Because I'm a smart boy and I know the puzzles pretty well. I do play this game quite a considerable amount of time. So we're going to go into Toriel's house here, and here's one of the first big differences of True Pacifist versus other categories. We're actually going to grab the pie here. Pretty much no other category you ever grab the pie. Because it's slow. But it has an alternative use in the True Pacifist final boss fight. That saves you about 20 seconds. So it's worth getting. And it also makes the fight with Asgore easier. Which is just an added bonus. You can use it in the fight with Asgore and you'll still have it on your save file when you reload after the fight. How far are you from world record in this category? I'll give you a moment. So, Toriel, the Toriel fight, you just saw that attack right there where she swept a hand. You want those. You want as many of those as possible. Because running into that attack will cancel it, and you'll save about 3 seconds per each hand. It's about a 40% chance. It's kind of become a meme in the community because there have been times where, you know, you don't get any hands at all. There's another one there. Here, I'm going to do a little trick where I'm going to run into that invisible fireball to take 1 damage. And now it's basically a race against time to get down to 2 HP before the fight ends. Since the last attack will always be cancelable, even if it's not a hand. I'm going to get to 4 HP here. Hopefully I get a hand here. That'd be cool. Nice. Okay. And this attack will be canceled no matter if it was a hand or not. But yeah, that's Toriel. So yeah, to answer the question about world record, I currently have 3rd place in the True Pacifist category. And I currently have English world record in neutral. Snowy Y101 has Japanese world record in both categories. And the English world record for True Pacifist still hasn't been beaten. It still belongs to TGH, who set it about a year and a half ago. As for his time, I'm not very far off. I think I'm only less than a minute away from that. I want to say he has a 126.21, and I have a 107.09, or 127.09, I mean. It's kind of hard to compare an English run to the to a Japanese run just because there's a big time save. It's actually it's almost overcomable in neutral. Right now, I have English world record at 56.19, and Snowy's Japanese world record is only 9 seconds faster than that at 56.10. So yeah, Undertale. As if you didn't know the game we were playing already. Gotta get that credit in there. So here's another long room where you don't really do much. I'm just gonna be Michael Jackson for a little bit longer here. There we go. So we could see a PB here. Maybe. Probably not because I'm because I have to date Sans, but I set my PB about 2 months ago. I've gotten a lot better at the game since then. I just haven't really grinded this category very much compared to neutral. So here we have this dark, mysterious figure. Not exactly sure who this guy is. Oh, it's Ness. Yo, what's up, Ness? So a big difference in True Pacifist is that your menu will be different. Also, we're going to talk to that save point there to get full HP back. So because I have the butterscotch pie, I need to menu with the box slightly differently than I usually would in neutral, because in neutral I don't have the butter pie. Okay, so here I'm going to equip the Tough Glove, and the reason why isn't because I'm going to use the Tough Glove. Actually, that thing doesn't even see a single attack. The reason I have the Tough Glove equipped is because it gives me the stick in my inventory. And for those of you who don't know, the stick has a cool little functionality where if you use it on any dog enemy, they become instantly spareable, which skips a lot of setup that's normally required. You actually see that setup in the all yellow credits route of the game, because the stick does not grant you the yellow credit. So Papyrus, this is one of the hardest puzzles in the game, in my opinion. I see a lot of people slip through here. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, I managed to get it. That's an extremely difficult puzzle. It's really hard to have the tell for that one. It's like very hard to follow. It'd probably be a lot easier if you like left footsteps or something for me to follow, but yeah, nice word search. So what's the difference between... there's no difference. We just call it True Pacifist because it implies there's more than just being a pacifist. You have to go date. You have to go date some characters in order to get the special ending. So here we have the dog marriage, Dogamy and Dugressa, who we're just going to once again, we're gonna wag our magical stick, and they're just gonna let us by. The reason, apparently, the scientific explanation for this is that the stick conjures dog magic, which all dogs are weak to, and magic for some weird reason. So here we're gonna talk to this tree, which has a secret switch in it. That'll solve the puzzle. And I'm actually gonna go for a pretty newly discovered trick. Okay, I got it. Sweet. So now we get to see Papyrus kind of do that. So in this room here, we're not going to understand the puzzle, because it's actually faster to not understand. You don't have to watch the long animation. Is TPE all yellow names and credits a category? Yep, it's called all yellow credits. So here's the first big glitch of the run. This is ice puzzle skip. So what I'm gonna do here is gonna move Frisk very precisely here to hit all the switches, and then I'm gonna get up to this top right switch here, and I'm gonna do that, which skips the cutscene of the ice bridge coming out. Saves about 6 seconds, I'd willing to bargain. So now we're gonna fight our final dog enemy. This is the greater dog. So we're gonna hope for... Yep, boom, got it. Okay, so greater dog has 2 attacks he can throw at you. There's that dog attack that you just saw, which is the faster one because you can cancel it by running into the dog. But there's also an attack where he just throws a spear at you, and it's slow, and nobody likes it. So here we have the Deadly Gauntlet of Deadly Terror. Papyrus has a mace, a spear, I'm assuming from Undyne. We got the dog, a flamethrower, he must have gotten that one from Elon Musk. Another spear down there, and a cannon. Definitely very threatening, but thankfully he decides not to use it on us. So now we're in Snowdin Town here. And we're going to make our way to Papyrus by going through this igloo. This is a little glitch you can do. By interacting with the sign the same frame you walk into the igloo, you can get a text box here. There's no point, it saves 2 frames. And now we're gonna come face to face with the singular hardest boss in all of Undertale. This is Papyrus. So first things first, we're gonna throw the stick at him and crap. Hold up. I need to focus here. Dang it. Alright, alright. So this is a normal thing that happens. Papyrus actually is pretty hard. Most speedrunners usually lose to him once or twice. Definitely the hardest boss fight in the entire game. It's very difficult to beat him. So it's not a major time loss dying to him once. Let's see if we can beat him this time, though. Dang, man. I was hoping not to die to Papyrus, but let's see if we can do it this time. Oh, what? What's this? I'm blue. I don't know what's going on, guys. What do I do, guys? I don't know. I've never seen this before. Do you guys have any ideas? Because Papyrus is just going to destroy me now, dude. Dang it. Does anybody have any ideas to beat Papyrus? What do I need to do? Just jump? Oh, jump, jump, jump. Okay, I got it, I got it. Hold up, we'll jump this time. Oh, I see you can jump. Oh, so I guess I'm supposed to jump over the bones. Okay, okay, I get it, I get it. Okay, okay, okay. I'm gonna take a death here and just reset my HP. We'll beat him next time. I now know the strategy. I have the strategy formulated in my head. We're gonna beat him this time, I swear, guys. Okay, okay, okay. I think I got it, guys. I think I've got the strategy. I've got the winning strategy in my mind. We got it this time, boys. Ready? Here's my new patented strategy. Just walk around him. And I beat Papyrus. Alright, nice. So what do we do with people who you know, lower our HP to 1, violently hurt us and capture us 3 different times? We go and date them, of course. So that's what we're gonna go do now. We're gonna go date Papyrus. So yeah, for anybody wondering, it's faster to die to Papyrus 3 times than to fight him a single time. Because Papyrus' fight actually takes an eternity. So we're gonna hit C here to bring up the dating HUD immediately. It's a Saturday night. We gotta reel it in. Population just took a big hit. I don't know. Gandhi must have nuked somebody again. We got an egg in the bottom left. Not exactly sure what's going on with that. So, Papyrus, the most interesting thing about him, not his hat at all, is actually his jaw. So we're going to inspect his jaw. Okay, so what I just did there is something called spaghetti skip. Yes, that is actually the speedrun technical term, is spaghetti skip. I'm not kidding. By refusing to eat a spaghetti, it's faster because all of the text remains skippable. If you eat a spaghetti, you get a little cutscene, and that's slow. So yeah, that's Papyrus. All done and taken care of. We're never going to come back to Snowden again, so say bye to Snowden, chat. Bye. So this is our next big area of interest is Waterfall. In this area, we'll encounter our good friend, Undyne as well as Monster Kid a couple of times. Also, fun fact, if you menu, these rocks stop. Just thought I'd point that out. I have no idea why, it's just how it is. So, Undyne actually apparently sees us here. There's a dialogue box later in the game that apparently the reason Undyne does not attack here is actually because this is scientifically protected grass. I don't... It's incredible. So here's our good friend, Monster Kid. Monster Kid, you know, he's looking for attention, but we're not going to give him any. We're actually going to skip him 3 times. So here are the, these plants. These plants are actually, fun facts. They were torture devices created by Satan himself. Because these plants are, have some of the most questionable hitboxes I think I've ever seen in a video game. And if you happen to mess up placing the flowers, it's a pretty sizable time loss. Especially the first one, because here you at least have the bell, which calls them all back. But in the first room, you have to completely leave the room and come back in order for them to respawn. So we're going to run into Washua, who we're just going to run away from. Same as any other enemy. Washua holds some interest in being the singular enemy you don't kill in Genocide, because it's faster not to. Gonna get a source on that one. I remember a friend, a data miner, telling me about it. That's all I remember. It's in the game somewhere. I don't remember. You think I know the dialogue in this game? I still find out new stuff about it every day. So here we have Undyne, who's gonna chuck some spears at us, but we're gonna skillfully dodge them with the power of Ultra Instinct. Absolutely no problem. So, I'm actually going to take a safety save here, just because, here we are coming up to the universe-distorting, item. So, you know, a lot of people come in here and buy nice creams because they're good healing items, but the real prize is this thing, the punch card. What seems like a joke item to most people actually has a pretty important secondary function, and that's, it lets you do this. So yeah, a lot just happened there. So the punch card essentially lets you move during cutscenes. It happens in a multitude of ways, but basically, this is an item that you can use from the menu, and that's pretty important, because in this game, by hitting a direction and the menu at the same time, which you're going to see right here, you can buffer onto a cutscene trigger. So I'm going to do this with our good pal Onion Sands. So I got it there. By buffering onto a cutscene trigger, and then using the punch card, the cutscene starts, but then by closing the punch card, you get your movement back. So you can walk through every cutscene in the game, pretty much. It also lets you, wrong warp, which you just saw there a second ago, which is basically doing the same thing except with a screen transition. And the game absolutely doesn't like that. It freaks out and doesn't know what to do with you. And it just spits you out at the default location. So right here, we're going to buffer onto the pixel where that cutscene would start. And then we're going to use the punch card and just completely skip Monster Kid here. It's actually pretty important you don't mash away this text box early, because if you do, you soft lock. Monster Kid will just hover over to you threateningly, and he'll miss you completely. And the game doesn't give you your movement back until Monster Kid is supposed to hit you. So, one time, holding up and down in this room for some reason doubles your movement speed. Don't ask me why. Again, there are many mysteries in this game. So here we have to wait for Monster Kid to give us this little dialogue prompt, and then we're going to use the punch card on him to just walk past his cutscene. And here, I just need to quickly... There it is, I was one early. Okay, so I just skipped the initiation cutscene for Spears. That cutscene's actually special, and that it gets rid of your menu. There are a few cutscenes in this game that do that, and some of them are a little problematic. We'll be running into them later, mostly to do with Metaton. But we have workarounds for all of them. So as for this cutscene, because that cutscene there disabled my menu, I'm hitting C right now, nothing's happening. You can't skip a couple of upcoming cutscenes. But it actually works out in our favor, because the next upcoming cutscene you couldn't skip regardless if you had the punch card active or not, because you need this cutscene in order to progress. So thank Mr. Toby. So yeah, you need to watch this cutscene to progress, so even if we had the punch card, we wouldn't be able to skip it. Toby actually does know about it. He watched GDQ. When Undertale was at GDQ, and he said that he would leave it in because he thought it was cool. It's not really something that he'd have to go out of his way to patch either. Like, it's something you really have to know about in order to use it. This isn't going to ever happen to a player by accident. You have to intentionally know what you're doing. So, we gotta get a little trick here. Oh, what the? I got stuck in the wall. Oops. There we go. So, we're gonna do a little, Jesus impression here. Shout out to the New Testament, as always. It's pretty cool, dude. And, I'm gonna do a little trick here. This actually loses time, but it lets you move during this cutscene. Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Shayy. So you can't actually skip Mad Dummy, because Toby really didn't want us to skip Mad Dummy. He put not one, but actually 2 invisible walls. So, ha, take that. It's actually weird. A lot of these invisible walls are present earlier in the game before you get the punch card, but they're not on a lot of later cutscenes. So I'm going to specifically position myself here in order to fight Mad Dummy in the most optimally way possible, which is in 5 turns. So this is turn number 3. Turn number 4 here. And we have turn number 5, which should be the last one if I didn't mess up. Alright, sweet. So that's the fastest you can possibly do Mad Dummy. Steven. So, fun fact, you actually don't have to hit Mad Dummy with these rockets. The fight will progress by itself, just like any ordinary fight now. If you actually look, if you have debug mode open, you can see Mad Dummy's health number, and it literally doesn't do anything. It can even go into the negatives, and nothing will happen. There actually is a pretty interesting crash, though. If you get hit by all of Mad Dummy's dummies in a certain cutscene, it'll actually crash the game. It's normally not really a thing that would ever happen, but... So yeah, that was Mad Dummy. Wait. Oh! Ooh! Okay, barely dodged that. Man, I can't hear it. One of my favorite things about this fight is that Mad Dummy will get stuck in whatever position he was in when the tears actually hit him here. And one of my favorite things is just seeing his head, like, completely detached from his body. Pretty funny. Or actually, I guess it's a she, isn't it? Anyway, here's Napstabluke. So here's a little trick. I actually messed it up. Oops. Oh, and Napstabluke's still there. Well, that's weird. He'll go away. Anyway, this cursed place actually has no entrances or exits. That text box is pretty important. So, in addition to using the punch card to skip things, by using the punch card to do something called text storage, you can essentially just use a text box as a punch card. Because the closing of a text box will reset your movement value, just like closing the punch card would. You can use a text box to do wrong warps or to skip cutscenes. A lot of the times it's just faster to use the punch card, but there are some specific situations where it's easier and more consistent to just use a text box, as you don't have to buffer onto the correct pixel. So here we're going to do a trick called Flower Flow. So this involves keeping this punch card up for a little bit, walking over here, and now doing this. So that was actually a setup I discovered. Before, the trick was a lot harder and a lot more precise, but I discovered a faster setup that uses a strange phenomena that the punch card does, which progresses text box movement by 1. It's pretty technical stuff and really doesn't have anything to do with anything else. And something I actually found by complete accident. So we're coming up on the hardest skip in the game. Something called One Dine. So I'm gonna focus here for a moment so I get this. And that's One Dine. Alright, sweet, got it. So, that's probably the hardest skip in the entire game. It involves punch carding 2 different cutscenes and then wrong warping out of the room. The only problem is the wrong warp is really weird. Because of the way the screen is panning up, everything is completely different than it normally would be. The timing is different, the pixels you have to be on are different. Yeah, the biggest thing is that the timing is different. But by doing that, not only do you get to skip Undyne's cutscene, but you also get to skip her first phase. So this means we only have to fight this phase. And I'm actually going to take some intentional damage here to set up a skip known as the legendary Beowulf skip. And then we're just going to run away from her. So the reason the skip is called One Dine is because not only do you skip her cutscene, you also only have to fight her once. By positioning yourself properly in that room, you avoid a second attack. And this room you can just outrun her. So I just skipped the water cutscene, and interestingly enough, in True Pacifist, you actually don't. Usually people would say, "Wait, don't you have to put the water on Undyne?" If you skip that cutscene, the flag never actually gets set that Undyne has heatstroke. The heatstroke flag is only set after watching the cutscene where she collapses. So if you skip the cutscene, the game treats it as if you put water on her. Okay, that was interesting. So we're going to see our friend Vulcan here, who we are going to run away from. In neutral, you actually kill him, so I had to go against my muscle memory there. And Hotland is pretty crazy with all of the skips and tricks. So the most notable thing you can do with Hotland is that the punch card does weird things to the vents. Basically, when you normally use the vents, all collision is disabled while you're in the animation. And also grabbing the pan there, that's important. All collision is disabled. But if you use the punch card on it, this allows you to move, and every wall in the game suddenly doesn't exist. Also, here's Beowulf skip. basically what I just did there was take intentional damage so that the cutscene comes up, but I also use the punch card so I can walk during the cutscene. I was off there, that's fine. Okay, there we go. So that's east-west skip right there. By using the vent, we can just blast through that thing. That door. Okay, so that's jetpack skip. I didn't want to talk during that because that's actually a pretty important skip. Jetpack skip, basically the way it works is the first phone call actually restricts your menu, so you can't just use the punch card. You have to overflow a refrigerator, and while that overflow is happening, you have to open the punch card an extra time, just like I did with Flower Flow, and this tricks the game into thinking that a certain event happens a little later than it should, and that lets you use the same text box to walk through both cutscenes. And completely skip everything. That skip, because it requires text overflow, is actually impossible on the JP version of the game because of the input issue that patched it out by complete accident. So here's our good friend Heat Rope. If you're wondering why he's named Heat Rope, Snowy is an idiot. That's all I'll say. Also, you guys should really turn up your headphones for this. Just, yeah, listen to that sound a little bit. It's a pretty good sound. I like it. Debuted. Okay, so I'm gonna take a safety save here, just in case I mess up this skip. Okay, I didn't mess it up. I still have one more that I need to do right after this. This is the double feature. Not only do we have Royal Guard skip, but we also have 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's a new skip, and one more. Okay, there we go. So that was the big triple feature of Hotlands. We had to skip the Royal Guards, and then we have to do blind buffers into a trigger that we can't see to skip new show. And then new show actually disables your menu. So did jetpack skip. In order to get our menu back, right now I'm hitting C, nothing happening. You actually have to leave the Hotland area, which is why I went to this bridge earlier. And by leaving the area, you get your menu back. But that's still faster than doing any of the stuff. And here we are at left floor 3. I actually tied my PB, which is pretty sad. Alright, so here we have a really finicky skip called north-south skip, because you skip the northern and southern puzzles. So what we're going to do here is just get up like that, do that, and I didn't get it. Try it again. Oop, hello. Okay, there we go. That is a 4-frame window. North-south skip is probably the tightest in the whole game, but thankfully it doesn't soft lock you if you mess it up, so you have unlimited tries. It's just kind of annoying because you can lose time to it. So here we have this this long room filled with spider webs. Nobody really knows why this is in the game. I think there was supposed to be a boss here or something. I don't really know what's going on. And we have the biggest, most important skip in the game. Just taking my time, making sure I don't miss it, because I have done that before. Okay, so I just skipped Metaton's Opera, which will get rid of my menu, just like the other cutscenes did. But before we go back, I actually need to go up here and watch this cutscene right here. It's very important. This cutscene, because you skipped the Opera cutscene, your story flag is messed up, and you won't be able to return to right floor 3 with the elevator. I'm actually going to take a save here. You won't be able to return to right floor 3. So watching that cutscene there will trick the game into thinking I've done everything, and I should be at right floor 3 right now, which I am. Now I have to go back to left floor 1. And now we're going to get our menu back. Boop. And now we have the legendary punch card. So now, here's everybody's donation incentive. The donation incentive for this run was to date Sans. So that's what we're gonna do. If I could, there we go. So I hope you guys are ready. I'm gonna take a save before doing it, just in case I accidentally mess anything up. Okay, so here's a good friend Sans, which I'm gonna do some sorcery on. And the match you're playing here is I'm just gonna do some moonwalks. Delay the schedule just a little bit. And now I'm just gonna slide in here, hold down, clip through the bounds, and I'm gonna open up the punch card, which will teleport us here. There's no table. Sans is standing inside of that construction, dude. Well, here we are. So, your journey's almost over, huh? You must really want to go home. Yeah, forget it. I'm rooting for you, kid. Let me tell you a story. Who's that? Papyrus gets kind of cranky without his bedtime story. I love that line. One day, though, I noticed she wasn't laughing very much. Now, I hate making promises. Do you get what I'm saying? That promise I made to her. You know what would have happened if I hadn't said anything? Buddy. You'd be dead where you stand. Hey, lighten up, kiddo. I'm just joking with you. Besides, you haven't died a single time. Anyway, Sans casually just walking in the middle of the guy. And he just walks out through the wall. Alright, so there's your Sans date. Hope everybody enjoyed that. Anyway, now we're going to continue on with the run here. So here we have the core. So the core is interesting. So we're going to skip this magic encounter here. I'm going to mash through this text so I can do a wrong warp into the next room. Going to mash through this text here, talk to the little laser thing, blue, blue, orange. Going to walk across this light bridge, and then there's a cutscene I can skip right here. I actually messed that up, but that's fine. It's not very much of a time loss. These two cutscenes have invisible walls, so they're unskippable. Then we're going to wrong warp into this room, use the punch card right here to get past this phone call, run into a laser, which will make this text box last forever, and the lasers will never actually respawn, so we can just freely blitz through this bridge. And now we're going to go do the puzzle. It's faster than fighting the monsters at the top. So we're going to go into this puzzle room real quick. Do a little overflow trick. Wrong warp out of the room because of bad programming, and now we're going to do a series of wrong warps that'll get us back to the beginning of core. Boom, that was great. Gonna take a safety save here. So that strat is known as Snowy Core, after Snowy, the man, the myth, who found it. We're gonna skip Metaton completely. He sucks. Nobody likes Metaton. And we're gonna skip this little cutscene here too. And normally in neutral we'd skip this cutscene, but in True Pacifist you actually have to watch it, because this is the cutscene that allows you to date Alphys. If this cutscene is never done, you'll never be able to date her. And now we're just going to overflow the long elevator so we don't have to wait. Wrong warp out of the room, and there's your core split. Only 3 minutes off PB. So we're going to wrong warp to the top of this room here, which puts us here, and wrong warp into this room, which will put us at the save point. So this is New Home, featuring one of the best songs in the entire Undertale soundtrack. So all of this is unskippable text. You can't skip this no matter how hard you try. So we're gonna do a little skip here called Magalore skip. Got it. All right. So by walking into that door, you interrupt the cutscene and lets you bypass it. So yeah, all of these cutscenes are completely unskippable. You can see me mashing every button, but they're going very slow. So the name given to this sequence of events is called Monster Tale. I like to call it Resident Sleeper, personally, because it is very Resident Sleeper. So we're going to do a wrong warp right here, and that will skip a cutscene. That's the cutscene that details the human actually dying. So basically, if you want a synopsis of what the monsters are explaining to us right now, basically, the king and the queen had a child, king and the queen being Toriel and Asgore, obviously. They had a child named Asriel. Asriel, one day is wandering around and meets a human who had fallen down from the surface. The very first human to ever fall into the underground. He becomes friends with the humans pretty quickly, and they basically take him on as a son. So he's part of the family, or she, but it's actually never stated what gender Kara is. But this human, whose canonical name is Kara, basically is like a sibling to Asriel. But one day, they have a plan, and this isn't detailed here. This is actually detailed later in the game, in the final area. But basically, they have a plan to free everybody from the underground. The plan is, and it's a pretty sick plot, is Kara will intentionally mortally wound themselves so that Asriel can bond with the human soul, which will let him move through the barrier. He'll take his incredible power up to the surface, get 6 human souls, and then free everybody. However, the day it happens, Kara dies. Asriel absorbs the soul and goes to the surface. However, Kara, they have actual even control over the body. Kara attempts to kill all of the monsters, or not all of the monsters, sorry, all of the humans in the village. So Asriel resists and instead walks back into the underground, gets mortally wounded along the way, and dies in Asgore's garden. So Asgore, in filled of rage, declares war upon humanity again, and states a policy that every human who ever falls down again will die. And 6 humans have fallen since, and their souls have been preserved, and Frisk here is the final human needed. And now we gotta go fight Asgore. So I took a save there. That's actually important because that's where we're gonna be reloading from. And we're gonna skip Sans Undertale here. Unfortunate, I know. And now we're gonna do a series of wrong warps known as the Rambu Kombu, which will get us straight up into the Asgore fight. So Asgore, he's a pretty big dude. This is really the only fight of the run. You don't actually fight any other monsters. But Asgore is unavoidable. There's no way to spare him or anything. He destroys the mercy button. He ain't having any of that. So we gotta smack him with our frying pan. And fun fact about the frying pan, it's actually ridiculously overpowered. The weapon balancing in this game, multi-hit attacks are incredibly powerful. So the frying pan is actually the strongest weapon in the entire game. It actually can outdamage the real knife, which you find in Genocide. That's how ridiculous it is. So we're going to use the pie here, which will lower Asgore's defense and offense. And now we're just going to wail on him. So yeah, you see I did 340 damage there, which is a pretty big number. It's worth noting that every single one of these is a frame-perfect input. And the game can occasionally drop frames because we're in Asgore, which has visual effects. That can drop a frame, and if the frame that's dropped happens to be the one you need to attack, you can't do it. So I missed one there. Just missing even one bar will cut your damage in half. So you have to be extraordinarily precise and a little lucky. So far this is going pretty well though. Dang. Ah, crap. That's not good. Okay, so this is going to be a 12 turn, which is pretty good actually for true pacifist. That would be incredibly, yeah, pretty much average for a top runner in neutral. That's good in true pacifist though. That's above average. So we're actually going to kill Asgore here. This was apparently a gold split. Okay, nice. So the reason I kill Asgore there is because that doesn't actually count as a kill. Your save file is reloaded to the save we made in Judgment Hall after this. So killing Asgore, and by that extension killing Flowey, doesn't actually have any impact. Yo, look, it's Mike Wazowski. Flowey the Flower. Without you, I never could have gotten past him, but now with your help. He's dead, and I've got the human souls. Boy, I've been empty for so long. Feels great to have a soul inside me again. I can feel them wriggling. Oh, you're feeling left out, aren't you? Well, that's just perfect. After all, I only have 6 souls. I still need 1 more. Before I become God. And then, with my newfound powers, monsters, humans, everyone, I'll show them all the real meaning of this world. Oh, and forget about escaping to your old save file. It's gone forever. Your old friend Flowey worked out a replacement for you. I'll save over your own death, so you can watch me tear you to bloody pieces over and over and over. Do you really think you can stop me? You really are an idiot. Oh, wow, that always hurts my throat. All right. So this is the Omega Flowey fight, or the Photoshop Flowey fight. Take your pick. It's called Photoshop Flowey, but the name we gave to it was Omega Flowey before we knew that. That was just adopted by the community. So, basically this fight is a 10-minute long auto-scroller. It's pretty hard to die in this fight, but you can't speed it up. The only thing you can really do is dodge. Your attacks are completely worthless until the final phase. So we have 6 soul phases to go through here, each representing a human soul and also what weapon they used. So here we have the blue soul with a toy knife, which didn't actually make an appearance in this run. But the 6 weapons represented are the toy knife, the tough glove, the ballet shoes, which also didn't get any representation here, the frying pan, the torn notebook, which you actually have to buy. That never sees any use in any category. It's just kind of a bad weapon. And as well as the empty gun, which doesn't see any use here as well. There's no slot for the stick, because I guess the stick is supposed to represent the red soul. But anyway, as we're moving on to the second phase, the 4th phase has a pretty famous chat interaction. It's completely RNG whether or not the act button will appear on the left or the right side of the screen. So I usually like to ask my Twitch chat, which do you think it'll be on? Left or right? And I will go with the one that gets the most. Only one vote per person, please. I'm getting 3 for left, 4 for left, 1 for right, 2 for right. So we're 3-2 right now. Left winning 3-2. If you want to swing it in your favor, you better get your chat on. I almost missed it. Wow, that actually almost happened. We got 3 for right, 3 for left. We got a tie right now, chat. Oh, we got 4 for left. Gio, you already said left like 3 times, brother. Oh, we got... Wow, we are even right now. We've got 4-4 right now. Oh, we got... Alright, we got 4-5 in the favor of left. Alright, looks like we are going left. So let's see if Twitch chat has done it again. Alright, chat, let's see if you were right. Twitch chat does it again with a 1-second time save. Let's get some claps in chat for Twitch chat. Good job, Twitch chat. Mods are... Oh, they actually might not be. So... There's a good tradition at the end of this fight during the final phase in the Undertale speedrun community to just absolutely annihilate the Twitch chat by spamming OW. So, that's a thing. So if you guys would like to partake in that, only during the final fight, go ahead and just do whatever. OW, any variations of it. You can even... just spam a bunch of emotes that are flowy or something, I don't know. As fast as you can. I need your energy, Twitch chat, in order to defeat Flowey. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, we're just gonna reload the game here, which will skip the cutscene, and go ahead and load up your spam. In 3, 2, 1, and go. Ow! Ow! Oh! Ow! Oh! Oh, there it is. I'm seeing it now on my end. Once he hits half HP, let's get some Urus. No, Bacon, come back. I need you. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, chat. I'm liking that. Nice and big, meaty spam. Alright, there's the quick kill for Flowey. Alright, good job, Twitch chat. You can cease now, which he'll probably keep going on for like 20 seconds on my stream. Alright, so here we're gonna move Frisk into the God Pixel, that I like to call it, right here. So basically, this little pixel it's pretty neat, because the moment these pellets become active, they'll actually immediately disappear, because I'm technically inside of them right now. Good job, Twitch chat. So, like I said earlier with Asgore, killing Flowey here is actually a lot faster for True Pacifist. Not only is this specific cutscene considerably faster, but he doesn't pop up later. So we're going to kill Flowey here. I'm going to walk into the door, which you guys actually aren't going to see because OBS can't record 2 Undertales at once. And now that once the Undertale logo pops up, we're free to reset the game. And we're back here. So the reason we saved at Judgment Hall is so that Monster Tail is saved. You don't have to worry about like clearing it again. So we're gonna take the elevator back down. We're gonna do a couple of downwards wrong warps here in order to return back as quickly as possible. Wait, that wrong warp's bad. Why did I do that? I'm gonna take a save here. So a fun little glitch you can do with the, this doesn't save any time. Actually, it loses time, but, you can do this. Oh, yeah. Look at that moonwalk. Oh, yeah, baby. And you can do it vertically, too. So we're going to take the boat over to Waterfall, and now we're going to go date Undyne. Hello. There you go. Pull up a virus. So chat, I have a very important question to ask you later, but we're gonna do this Undying Day first. So, a fun little glitch you can do here. By overflowing the chair, you can just, woohoo! You can do that. Boat to Snowden. It's not happening. What the heck did Nightbot just censor? Huh? Blacklisted spam? What? Nightbot is a strange creature. So yeah, boating to Snowden is kind of a meme in the Undertale community. By doing it, you lose 20 seconds. I think the peak of it was me accidentally doing it 3 times in a row. And still PBing. Well, we're not at that part yet. So here we're coming up to the singular most important part of the Undertale experience. Mashing the noodles. Here we go, boys. Alright, we got the fastest cycle. I apologize for the loss of your ears. Alright, we're gonna quickly hit Undyne in the face. And, that'll end our date with her. Shushi's gonna give us the Undyne letter. And that will let us activate the date with Dr. Alphys, who we are going to do right now. This section has become pretty notorious in the true pacifist speedrun. Oh, also, Squadala, we're off! Okay, now that that's out of the way. This section is pretty notorious in true pacifist for absolutely annihilating your fingers because it's a solid 5 minutes of just text smashing before the final area becomes available. So chat, let me ask you, is anime real? Oh yeah, I can. Oh man, my hands hurt. Well, everybody, welcome our special guest. Get ready for Jog Boy! What the heck? Fake news. God, did you just do a 2-1-2 pyramid and somebody else's? I should ban you from my chat for that. That's degeneracy. Alright, so we're going to go into the final area of the game now. This is the one, the only true lab. So a fun fact. This elevator... this elevator doesn't actually bring you until True Lab, until this cutscene ends. If you were to walk out of the elevator right now, which I can do, by the way, it just brings you back in the normal lab. Alright, so welcome to the True Lab. First things first, Sunny D, Power of the Soul. I'm actually going to take a save here in case I die to a certain enemy. Hopefully I don't, but knowing the enemy in question, the fact that I didn't get the Stained Apron, it might actually happen. This enemy has a high probability of actually killing you because its pattern is complete RNG. So first things first, we're going to use our cell phone on it. Looks like we're getting a good pattern here. And then we're going to refuse to join it. Alright, good. And that's it. That's it for Memory Head. It's sticky. Yikes. Power room. There's so many little text boxes that I use to wrong warp in this game that I've memorized a lot of. Alright, so we're gonna wrong warp into this room. Gonna grab the yellow key here. And now we're on to one of the final skips of the game. This is endogeny skip. It's pronounced endogeny, by the way. It's not endogeny. It's not endogeny. It's endogeny. Because it has dog in the name. Anyway, we're gonna interact with this sign at the same frame we press the switch, and this will hold this text box, and that'll allow us to completely just walk out of the room before Endogeny has a chance to trap us. But the fan needs to be activated in order to fight Snowdrake's mother, so. So we're going to go up and throw the yellow switch into its little place right now. This is the room where you learn about the secret videotapes that Azriel and Kara recorded. And now we've got Shayy, who is a amalgamation of... Well, wait, no. Lemon Bread, sorry. Lemon Bread is an amalgamation of Shayy, Aaron, and a super secret boss called Moldbig. Nobody's ever fought him before. Nobody actually knows who Moldbig really is. Oh, take a hit here. That's fine. Alright, and that's the last enemy in the entire game that actually poses a threat. Well, technically this is the last enemy in the game, but if you get hit by this, I don't. What? Yep. Oh, ow, ow. Oh man, big damage. That's a lot of damage! And she's gone. So that's Snowdrake's mother. You just have to joke with her 3 times. I actually misinputted and didn't the first time. So I'm going to tech storage the blue key here, and walking behind these refrigerators gives you the same speed effect that you saw earlier in Waterfall. Okay, I'm going to stake a safety save here just in case I missed this skip. This is the final and probably one of the more difficult skips in the game. This is Reaper Bird skip. So I'm going to use this text box to get past this trigger here, walk into the room. If I was to walk out of the room right now, I'd walk into the fight, but I'm going to wrong warp out of the room, which will put me over there. Thus completely skipping the Reaper Bird fight. That can be a pain with manual wrong warps. Thankfully, we have text storage. I'm going to wrong warp into the next room here. And we're coming up to the very final skip of the game. We're going to overflow the generator here and hold this text box. And pay attention to your screen chat. Smell. 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 I only lost 5 seconds to that. Wow, that's impressive. Why do you do manual for Reaper Bird skip? Because you're bad? Kappa. Okay, so now we are in the end game. We're locked into progression at this point. Sans isn't even here. We don't have to bother skipping him again. All we got to do is just walk up into Asgore's room. So we're going to do one final Rambu combo. I didn't mean to save there. Whatever. That's fine. So the reason the smell text box comes up, I can explain this now that I have a moment. The reason it actually comes up is because that's the final room in the game in terms of the room numbers. That's actually the highest. The next room in the sequence is actually the secret entry number 17. Which I think I can actually show once the run ends. But it actually overflows the generator text box into the secret debug room, where it's black text box or black text on a white text box with red. And because it's black text, it doesn't show up well, or it doesn't show up well on the black text boxes. It's meant for these text boxes right here. So it gets overflowed. Bizarrely. So here we have the final mash fest of True Pacifist. And there we go. Alright, that's the final big mash fest of True Pacifists. Well, actually, there's one more at the very end of the game, but it's time to fight the final boss. Flowey. Don't you get it? It's just a game. Oh. Don't touch the child. No touch the child. Do not touch the child. He touch the child. You idiots, it was me, Dio. All your souls are mine. Finally. I was so tired of being a flower. No, I'm not. I'm not here. What are you talking about? Anyway, this is the final fight. So first thing we're going to do is Dream, which will put the Dream item in empty slots in our inventory, which is a full heal. Pretty useful to do. And now we're just going to hope and go onto this text box. The fight doesn't actually start until the colors come on in the background, so I can just sit here and do nothing. And I'm going to attempt something here. Let's see if I get it. Ah, I missed it by like a frame. So if you hit enter on the perfect frame, Azrael will actually keep his rainbow aura through attack number 1. So you'll just see a rainbow aura. It's pretty cool. So the Azrael fight, it's not difficult. The strat I do here is to hope every turn, which keeps my defense high, so that I probably won't die. And in case I take too much damage, I always do have the dreams to heal me. Basically, the objective is just to make it through the fight without dying, because that's slow. There's no other really way to speed this up at all. Azrael hits us with some of the most over-the-top named attacks I think I've ever seen. First of all, Azrael's form here is actually called the God of Hyper Death. That sounds like an edgy Sonic OC. Which is great, because Azrael's a kid. I love it. And he's got attacks such as Star Blazing, Lightning Buster, Chaos Saber, Hyper Goner. I'm just waiting for him to bring out the Chaos Control. Where's the Rasengan? Come on, man. Times 10 Kaioken. All for 1,000,000%. Gom Gom Pistol. I love the background for this fight. It's very simple, but it's so good. Huh? Oof. Okay, I'm gonna heal here, just in case. Because you love your friends. Isn't that delicious? Your determination. It's gonna be your downfall. So this is the final attack. He always ends it with this attack. And Lightning Buster. So we're just going to heal now. Heal now. There we go. So this is Hyper Goner. If you get hit by this attack at all, it instantly drops your HP to 1. But if you manage to dodge it, you can hold your full HP. So let's see if I can do that. Oh god. Whew, okay, got it. Nice. And there it is. So that's phase 1 of Azrael. Now he's going to transform and show us his final form thing. Haha, Kakarot, this isn't even my final form. So these are pretty hard to dodge. They each do 8 damage. It's usually commonplace for you to die at least once here. It takes almost no time away. It is faster to not die at all, but this attack is incredibly difficult to dodge. So I'm going to take the death here, because I'm not confident in dodging 2 more rounds of this with only 4 HP. It's faster to die at the very beginning of an attack. But it refused. And now we have a full 20 HP to dodge the last barrage. He only does this 4 times, and then you'll be able to go straight into his fight. Alright, so now we gotta rescue all of our friends here. So the first 2 choices on any of these don't actually matter. Only the third one does. And it's because the third one has unskippable text, so you want to do whichever one's the shortest. For Undyne here, that's going to be Recipe. For Alphys, it's going to be Nerd Out. So we're going to joke with Papyrus twice here, and then we're going to do Judgment on Sands, which is far and away the fastest one. Some people say it's different. They're wrong. It is Judgment. I'm here to clear that up right now. Alright, and now for Toriel and Asgore, we're actually going to use the pie, which we've been holding on to. Remember at the very beginning of the run how I said there was a 20-second time save? Well, here it is. The pie skips 3 turns of this fight. And now we're just going to hug Asgore. And this is where the fight basically becomes an auto-scroller. So, Hug the Goat ended up winning, right? For the donation incentive? I should know just about now. You are hugging. All right. Sweet.
You are hugging the goat.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Hug the goat, hug the goat.
Awesome. That is 1/1,000,000th of an HP right there. All right. And here's everybody's donation incentive. Here we go. There it is. There's your hug. Alright, I'm going to open up a second copy of Undertale here to do a save warp. So this is going to be open in the background. And the reason we do that is because right after this cutscene ends, the game will put a save file inside of your folders, which is saved at the very end of this room with the true pacifist flag enabled. So as soon as this cutscene ends, I'm going to close out this copy of Undertale and load the save file, which will basically just teleport me to the end of the room. Boop, boop, and here we are. Gonna do a little trick here. There you go. There's actually no collision there, so you can just walk into the cutscene trigger. Alright, here we go. Just a little bit of mashing left, and that'll be all. And time. And that's it. It's done. There it is. That's Undertale.
That was an amazing run, by the way.
Thank you. Oh, let me turn you up on my end. Alright, there we go.
I'm just watching to see what time you got on stream.
1:31:20. So yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed that.
I say that's pretty darn good. Granted,
Yeah.
I've seen neutral runs and genocide runs. This is the first true pacifist run I've seen.
Yeah, it's a really good category. It's just a little bit on the long side. But I think it's probably my favorite out of all of them, just because it always leaves you cheerful whenever you finish a run, because you get to watch the cool ending. Can I show off the
And
Can I do the special thanks credits?
if Manx and Colt are down for it,
Do we have time to do that?
let me go ahead. Colt says yes, so.
Alright, awesome. I guess we'll do it then. Put system... No, I'm not doing that. So, someone asked about the leaderboard situation with this game. Currently, everything shares the same leaderboard. There may be a change coming to that in the future, depending on some circumstances. Wait, who's this character? Who the heck is this? Muffet? I don't remember this. Chat, do you guys know who Muffet is? I have no idea. I have never heard of this character before. Is it like a secret boss or something? Console exclusive, maybe? I don't know who it is. Alright, so those of you who have played this game before know that there is one final thing we must do. And that is... the special thanks! Did you really think it was over? I mean, we haven't even done the special thanks yet. Ready? There's me, guys. Oh god, that name is so long. Ah! And there it is. Boom. Incredible work. Alright, well, that's Undertale. So, thanks everybody for watching. It was a lot of fun to run this. Thanks for having me, guys.